Hello everyone, my name is Gwen. Welcome to Chocolate Time Recipes and Inspirations. Today we are making pumpkin dessert and this is absolutely yummy. It's so moist. The chocolate part is there are scores on it and it just makes the dessert really spectacular. The mixture of pumpkin and caramel and chocolate is just absolutely amazing. My inspiration for today is that Halloween is just around the corner. I think of kids, and I have a wonderful children's book. If you have children or grandchildren, this is one that is so much fun. It's called The Halloweener by Dave Pilkey. The characters are adorable. It's the characters are dogs, and a mother makes her wiener dog a costume in which she makes him into a hot dog. He is absolutely embarrassed and the whole story becomes quite comical. Something wonderful happens on Halloween. It will be a book that will put a smile on your face and any child's face. This is a wonderful read and so much fun. What you will need for this recipe is yellow cake mix. I've already put it in here. This is one of those recipes where we take a cake mix and we make it into something quite spectacular. 1 cup and 3/4 of pumpkin puree. Make sure that you don't use pumpkin pie filling. It has to be pure pumpkin. You will need 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, 3 cups of frozen whipped topping, some Scores bars. I use 2. You're going to need them to crush them up for the topping, and caramel ice cream topping. So, also a 9 by 13 pan. This is a dessert that needs to be kept in the refrigerator, and I love this particular pan because it's got a really nice lid that will seal the dessert in, but you can use tin foil, you can use whatever you want. So, okay, so how do we make this dessert? The first thing we are going to do is we're going to add the pumpkin to the cake mix. With this particular dessert, the only thing that you need to do is mix the cake mix and pumpkin. That's all. There's no eggs or oil. So you're not going to be following the back of the directions on the back of this. The directions are pumpkin and the cake mix. We're going to beat this on low for just a minute or two until it's all mixed. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a stir. It's a thick batter, so I'm just working it in a little bit more. Okay, I have it all mixed, so what I need to make sure I do is to spray cooking oil on the pan. The temperature of the oven should be 350. Okay. So I'm just putting it in the pan. As I mentioned, it's a thick batter, but don't worry about that. And it will turn into a very moist cake, and you will understand why. This is a really stiff batter, but don't worry about that. It will be moist. This is a poke cake, so we're going to be adding an ingredient after it's baked that will really make it moist. Okay, it's been in the oven for 30 minutes at 350. I've taken it out of the oven and it has cooled for 10 minutes. Once you have done that, we are going to take a wooden spoon and we're going to poke holes throughout the cake about 1 inch apart. A comment, one thing to think about is when you take the cake out of the oven, it doesn't look like a spongy cake. It's not smooth. It kind of looks rough. However, do not panic. This cake will turn into a beautiful creation when we're going to poke holes in it, and this this sweetened condensed milk will go over it, and it just makes it into a beautiful moist cake. We'll be covering it, so it will look nice. Ultimately, it will look great. It's kind of like the ugly duckling. It will turn into something quite wonderful. If there's clumps of this cake that sort of pop up from when you do the poking, just kind of place it on there, because when you pour the milk on and we put the whipped topping all over it, it will all be absorbed into the dessert. So we are now, we have put holes all over the cake. Now we're going to pour over the sweetened condensed milk. As I mentioned, the combination of yellow cake and pumpkin and the sweetened condensed milk is just wonderful. It makes it so moist, and it really works well. I'll smooth it over a bit, just to make sure that the milk gets into all the holes. Okay, it is covered. And we will put this in the refrigerator for half an hour, and then we are going to take it out and we're going to put whipped topping, some caramel topping as well, and some of the scores. It has been in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, and now we're ready to put the topping on. 3 cups of frozen whipped topping. So this dessert is really nice as well, because this time of year you get pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, but this is really different, and it is so good. It's sweet. It's a real treat. Pumpkin and whipped cream work so well. But when you add chocolate scores, it just makes it spectacular. What a great dessert. The whipped cream covers it up so very nicely, makes it look really pretty. So we're going to add the caramel dessert topping, and this, once again, caramel with pumpkin and yellow cake and whipped cream. It is fabulous. So, okay. Now I use 2 score bars, but it's up to you how many you want to use. But 2 score bars is quite generous with the amount that you will have. You'll have wonderful. If you use 2 score bars, you will have a lot of chocolate, and it will really make the dessert so exciting. So we have a spectacular fall dessert people will really enjoy. This will need to be refrigerated overnight, and then you will be able to share it with your friends and family. This dessert looks so good. It's oozing with caramel, and it's got chocolate and whipped cream and pumpkin. Life is good. That is unbelievable. You will have to try it for yourself. It is a great recipe for family and friends. Wonderful holiday recipe. Thank you for joining me at Chocolate Time. I really enjoy sharing these recipes with you. And here's to you.